Jason Tatum. That name is one of the most polarizing in all of sports, but why? A lot of people have a lot of different reasons, but does he deserve the hate? Does he really deserve to be scrutinized and kind of put to shame? He gets called corny, he gets called boring. Does he deserve it? We're gonna find out together in this video today. Real quick, this is the start of a new series on my channel where I kind of start to flip the narrative on some players that you might not like, or maybe some of your friends don't like. So if you know of any players that you want to hear me talk about, or you want to hear me try to flip the script on, just let me know down in the comments. I would really appreciate it, and we're gonna get right into it. Tatum's been one of the best players in the entire league for some years now. So why does he get called corny? Well, first, I want to talk about what corny actually means in Tatum's case. When people call him corny, they're not really just calling him lame, they're not calling him cringe, they're saying he's trying too hard. I don't really agree with this, but they're saying it's inauthentic, him texting Kobe Bryant, him wearing his armband, him saying things that are iconic lines from like KG or Kanye West. Fans say that it's disingenuous, and they kind of think that they don't really land. These moves don't land, and they think that he's just trying to be relatable. And even I used to think this way. I'm not blaming the entire media. I fell for this too. I was not a fan of Jason Tatum for the longest time. Now, I don't love the Boston Celtics as an organization. I don't care about their fan base or whatever. I just don't like the owners of the team. But while this video and this series is going to be a challenge to the public, try and change their perspective, it's also going to be a challenge to me. Doing this research really helped me kind of like Jason Tatum a lot more than I used to. I thought of him in a different way after making this video, we'll say. And honestly, some of the other critiques that people make and on social media a lot of people talk about, one of them being that he's boring, doesn't really make much sense to me. I think the guy is pretty wholesome. I think he's family oriented. I like that he hangs out with his son a lot. It's like, I don't agree. I'm going to get into why people actually hate him. Starting off with on the court, he's a flopper. That's what people say. People say that he whines. People say that he's a flopper. People say that his game is boring. People say that he's too passive. One of the main critiques is that he settles for jumpers. And I don't really agree with this, but let's take a kind of jump back into his entire career and see why people say this. In the 2020 conference finals, Tatum struggled heavily against Miami Heat's zone. In 2020, in the Eastern Conference Finals, Tatum struggled heavily against the Miami Heat's zone defense that they were playing against them, and had, I think, multiple almost scoreless halves. In the 2022 finals against the Warriors, he shot 36%, 37% from the field in the series. In 2023, the Celtics went down 0-3 to an 8-seeded Miami Heat team, and Tatum scored only 13 or 14 points in the Game 7 of that series. And in 2024, when he won a championship, Brown looked like a better scorer than him at times. This is the narrative that the media tries to push about Jason Tatum. A lot of people just like hating on him for basically no reason. I could flip these narratives and make you guys think a completely different thing. Let's go back for a second. In 2020, Tatum was only 22 and was learning how to lead a team while still was averaging 25 points. It was still amazing, and he still averaged 5 assists per game. In 2022, he played against the Warriors, one of the most experienced teams when it comes to championships this century, and was playing through a shoulder injury. The Warriors also had one of the best defenses that we've ever seen. In 2023, you can flip the narrative and say that his team and Tatum came back from 0-3 and forced a Game 7, and he suffered an ankle injury. So you could make the case that he would have won this game. He would have led this team to rally around and beat the Heat and come back 0-3. If he doesn't hurt his ankle the very first play of the game, I don't know how that series ends. And in 2024, he had the best team that he's had in years, in his entire career, basically. So he defers to them more often. He's not so aggressive. He doesn't want to get injured, maybe, or he just leveled up his playmaking game, as we saw, and had better opportunities to get assists. And while Brown did look like a better scorer, Tatum led in more statistical categories than him, I'm pretty sure. I think it was rebounds, assists, and he was basically the most impactful player on the team. So, and real quick, let's not forget about some amazing moments that he's had in his career that show that he's not boring at all on the court. He dunked on LeBron as a rookie. In 2022, he scored 46 points to force a Game 7. In 2023, he scored 51 points to close out a series. And of course, in 2024, he became an NBA champion while being the best player on that team at a very young age. You don't get these plays, you don't get these stats by just being a boring passive player. That's a pretty professional resume. That's a great resume. And taking a look at the reason people call him corny, some of the text he sent, some of the quotes like, "I got you today" to Kobe. And the next two, which you've probably heard 100 trillion times.
Oh my God, oh my God. It's a surreal feeling. We did it. We did it! Oh my God, we did it. I'm one of the best basketball players in the world. You know, go through struggles, go through.
These are definitely a little cringy. I'll admit that. I think it's funny to laugh at these, but they do come from a place of authenticity. Whether it's him showing confidence or him showing respect to previous players of his generation like KG, he means these things. Is it really worthy to actually hate him for this when stuff that he says just comes out wrong? I think he could have maybe said a few of these quotes better. Maybe he could have said the "anything is possible," like KG said, "anything is possible." I don't know. I think that it was pretty cringy the way he said it, but it's not that big of a deal. The guy has a lot of emotions running through him. He won a championship, so just take it as it is. And looking at some of the things he does off the court, I don't know if there's much to hate about him. People say he's boring, people say that he's soft, but everything he does makes it seem like he's actually just a good person. Tatum seems to be a good father. He runs a non-profit charity. He donates school supplies to children in need. He hosts free basketball camps every year and supports single mothers with financial aid. That's a lot of stuff. I don't know if we should hate this guy. And while I love Anthony Edwards, I think he's an amazing player. I think he's very entertaining. The NBA needs a role model like this. Think maybe Curry. For the longest time, Curry was a golden boy. He said pretty nice things and he acted as a role model to children. Once he retires, who's that going to be in the NBA? Hopefully Tatum. While I agree, yes, it's funny to make fun of some of the things he does. It's funny to maybe look at the quotes he says, look at the way he plays, and critique it. That's fine. You're allowed to critique NBA players. My point of view and why I'm making this video is because it's shifted into actual hatred towards this player. The media comes out, Stephen A. Smith comes out and says that Tatum's not actually that good. Tatum's boring. Tatum's passive. People on social media claim that he's boring, he shouldn't be a star, nobody likes him, his personality sucks. I don't agree with any of that at all. I think the second you start looking at basketball in less of a hateful kind of scope, and you start to not take for granted these players that we've been blessed with and have the fortunate ability to watch play basketball, it makes the sport so much more fun. And I think that if we start to shift the narrative on some of these players like Jason Tatum over to the good that he does versus the bad, it'll make everyone have more fun talking and watching basketball. So to answer my question from the start of the video, no, he doesn't deserve the hate at all. He's actually a pretty good person, and he's very, very fun to watch. So I hope you had fun watching some of the clips that I put up, some of the pictures that I put up. And if you do have anyone else that you would like me to talk about for this series, I have a few different ideas, maybe like James Harden. I made a video about Joel Embiid, but maybe I could go deeper into his life. People like Shea, people like Jalen Brunson. I'm going to try to challenge some of these perspectives. So if you enjoy this video, I'd appreciate if you like and subscribe and commented something nice. Maybe give me some feedback about these videos and let me know if you like it. Peace.